Welcome back everybody to Zelda 1. That was a room full of dark nuts. We know about them now. We have to get through them to get to the next area. So I'm gonna have to do my best to not die. Which I know is always asking a lot of me, to not die. In an area that's pretty clear about what you need to do. I'm not sure which enemy's worse, a dark nut or the wizard robes. I say that because wizard robes can generally be defeated by getting close to them and hitting them with a sword, where these guys are much better defense. However, wizard robes obviously are ranged units that kind of make your life a living hell. And if a like, which is very common, eats your big shield, you're screwed. You go buy a new one. So here's the raft item. This is actually important to get to dungeon number 4. There's also, I believe, 1 or maybe 2 other uses for this. I know one of them is to get a heart piece. I don't think they use it all that much in this in comparison to a different item that we'll be getting later on, which is seems like a very boring item, which is just a ladder. But the ladder allows you to go across, one space water thing. So. So we can just basically put an end to this dungeon now that we've seen, conquered, etc. We just have to go beat the boss and we'll be done. Did you get the sword from the old man on the top of the waterfall? I sure did. As I hit him with my sword, let him know that I in fact did get it. I often wonder, point of like hard boozes, like recently gotten into bourbon, American whiskey if you will, which I know there are different types of whiskeys. There's Scotch whiskey, there's regular whiskey, Canadian whiskey. The Americans carved out a niche using corn to make bourbon. But the stuff is like, particularly if you get into it, it's on the one hand it's kind of like, oh, let's get drunk really fast, but on the other hand, if I was going to do that, I would just buy a handle of vodka. Not that the vodka is much less expensive, but like I feel like for the same amount of money I could get a lot drunker a lot faster and mix it with a lot of more different things, whereas a bourbon, and I apologize as I say this because this is going to seem very pretentious, seems like it needs to be like tasted and sipped, and like if you don't like taste of whiskey or bourbon, why are you fucking drinking it, I understand there are things that you can put together with whiskeys or bourbons. Old fashioned is a great example of making the whiskey a little bit sweet. And, more palatable, I guess, for people who prefer a mixed cocktail. I think I'm gonna die here. I mean, yeah, those guys don't hurt me, but they do prevent me from using my sword, so... Maybe we can do this. Alright, we did this. Alright, never mind. Ignore me. I'm gonna die in the next room, though, because that's the boss room. Or maybe I'll get lucky, who knows. We'll see. Probably die. 2 health to take on a boss. I'd have to basically put the bomb right smack dab in the middle of where he's gonna be. Yep. We're gonna head back up to the fairy fountain here. I have bombs, so we're good on bombs. I have not unlocked the potion lady yet. I'm gonna have to do that here soonish. Or have I? I'm gonna have to check my inventory in a minute. There's not really much more I can do at this point. I'm only in the 3rd dungeon, so we kind of have to make some actual progress if we want to start complaining about difficult areas. Because they're going to get a lot more difficult from here. But on the other hand, I will have more hearts as well as we progress. And stronger items, and stronger weapons, and stronger defense. So, we will see. But I was getting back to sort of what I was saying about alcohols. It's like, it seems like some alcohols are meant to be mixed, like vodka seems to... I know you can drink straight vodka, but like, it seems like that's one of those things that you would mix. Tequila you could probably drink straight, though it seems like a mixer as well. Whiskey can be a mixer depending on what you're putting in it, but in a lot of cases it tends to be like a standalone thing. Bourbon's the same way. Because they have sort of strong palate, whatever you want to call it, taste palettes, that like you're gonna probably, if you don't like the taste of bourbon, you're probably not gonna like it on the rocks, and you're probably not gonna really like it too much without a lot of like syrup, like simple syrup or bitters to try to blend out the taste a little bit, I guess. But this is not a good, let me say, it's not a good hobby to get into. Not that there are too many good hobbies to get into, because if you're talking about collecting video games, which is something I did for a while, boy, that market got expensive fast. And like, I don't really understand like why. Is it so damn expensive? I mean, like, I get it, some things are hard to find, but there's no reason why a game like Link to the Past is probably a good example, but there's no reason why a game like, I don't know, Contra should be any more than, say, $5. But maybe, again, I'm living in the, you know, the 2010s still. So I did not get my collection early, and I did not get my collection late either. By that I mean I started collecting NES video games around 2009-ish, just after I got my first real job. And I had disposable income to be spending on video games. Unfortunately for me, I was a little past the point where you could really just rake in the best deals, where you go to, you know, a local garage sale, flea market, swap meet, whatever you want to call them, and just sort of pick up a whole bunch of video games for $1 or 50 cents or something. You could probably, I'm not 100% sure, I think you can still do it if you want to collect Game Boy games, you could probably still do that. There are some harder to find Game Boy games, but those games are gonna probably set you back like 50 or 60 bucks, not hundreds of dollars. That's what we wanted. I'm gonna have to use my sword to get rid of the rest of this. Yeah, die, die, die! Yeah, we did it. Barely. We barely lived. But we got through the dungeon. So, hooray, another Triforce piece for me. Out of this dungeon we go. We got upgrades to Link that needs to be done. We got people to see, things to do, parts to gather. And then we need to go to Dungeon 4, which is not far from where I'm standing. Got a lot of, unfortunately got a lot of rupees I gotta get between now and then. Blue, blue tunic / blue ring, 250, rupees. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I have to buy right now. Not really. What am I missing? What am I forgetting? I have the big shield. I can't get my sword yet. The other stuff is you get pretty much in the dungeons. So, you know, whether that be upgrades to certain things or whatever. Oh, I do need to pick up the meat. The meat's gonna be like 80 to 100 bucks. But I don't need to do that right now. I can wait. Well, I'm not exactly sure where Grumble Grumble Guy is. He might be later in the game, or he might be like level or dungeon 6. So speaking of alcohol, recently went out and picked up a half case of Guinness, which I haven't had in a while. I don't want to. I'm not exactly. I don't actually remember last time I had a Guinness per se. I want to say 5 years ago, though I may have drank one at some point. Oh, I probably did. No, it'd probably been about 2 years ago. My brother Greg came home. We were home for a holiday or something, and I think he made me do a Irish car bomb with him, which not the appropriate name for that drink anymore. But what is anything that comes out of England ever named appropriately? You know. Anyways, so this drink. You gotta drink real fast. That was probably the last time I had a Guinness, but I didn't actually drink the Guinness. I was having a car bomb, if you will. So that was drink it really fast before the milk curdles sort of shit. The Baileys, as you will. There's a hidden area somewhere along here that I'm not really concerned about. Because it's just an area for you to play, you know, gamble. Like, hey, put 10 rupees down and you can gain upwards of 50 rupees if you're really lucky. However, more than likely what's going to happen is you're going to lose 10 rupees, and on top of 10 rupees you're going to lose somewhere in the ballpark of like 10 or 20 or 40 additional rupees, which blows. I have the wrong item. I'm thinking of the bridge, the little bridge thing. This is where I want to be for the raft. So the raft will take me over here to this area, which looks like a dungeon, which may have been a dungeon at one point, but it is not a dungeon. It is actually just an upgrade area. Might have been a area that they had decided, oh, well, we're not going to make this actually into a dungeon. We're going to make this into an upgrade area because we want to hide, say, Dungeon 8 or Dungeon 7 somewhere else. Can't say, though. Not sure. Don't know enough about the game. I don't usually shout out YouTubers too much because, let's be honest with it. Be honest with ourselves, not really too many people are watching my channel, but in addition, I've always been one of those people where if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this on my own merit. I'm not gonna, you know, try to use name recognition to money-making game. You wanna play money-making games? We were just talking about. 20 rupees. Congratulations, Chris. Now walk away. Walk away. About as best you can do in that game. You can get 50 rupees if you're really good at it. But no one really is ever that good. You're either lucky or you lose all your money. It's a secret. But I will shout out this one YouTuber I've been watching for about a year. His name's Tom Grossi. He does a lot of NFL reactionary football content, a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of make-believe in some cases. He does a teams react video whenever they you know, either, you know, how does the fan base react when this particular thing happens or that happens or whatever, and you sort of get a pulse of where the fan base is at that time period. Get to my point before I wander off. We're doing a charity stream. I think it's on the 16th of February, so this episode should be airing long before then. Where he is going to stream until he either raises $1 million or gets to 1 million subscribers. Now, the 1 million subscriber thing is going to be kind of difficult. I'm not going to say it's going to be difficult, but essentially streaming until you hit 2 million subscribers, or I'm sorry, 1 million subscribers is going to be very difficult, because at the point of which I'm talking, at the end of January, he's about 175,000 subscriptions away from hitting the 1 million mark. So I know this subscription count's gonna obviously climb between now and then, just naturally. But if he has to make up 100,000 subscribers during his live stream, or raise $1 million, I'm not sure where I'd put my money, to be honest. That was a waste. I shouldn't have done that. Should have come back for that later after I picked up the upgraded armor. Be paying for that later, I'm sure. The worst case scenario is I run into Grumble guy in this next dungeon right now, and I go back and I have to pick it up now. That's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is he's not till like level 8. And all of a sudden I'm carrying around a $100 piece of chicken for another 7 hours, or not 7 hours, another 3 hours. You know, while I make it through these other dungeons that don't require that at all. Nope, nothing to push here. I doubt this wall's bombable, but we'll try it. Nope. Need a key. Do I have a key? I have 3 keys, in fact. Held over from the last dungeon. Isn't that wonderful? Or maybe one of the other earlier dungeons. I don't know. So unlike every professional player who knows all of the darkness in every single board, I will be using my candle to light up every room. no, I don't have the letter yet. Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. I gotta go pick that up if I want to get potions later. It's a completely free item that they give you. You just have to find it. And in addition to it being a completely free item, you can get it at the very beginning of the game if you want. You'll know where it is. Just go and get it. Beginning of the game. Doesn't even require anything, a rowboat or anything. Mac. Certainly, this has to be a bombable wall. Unfortunately, I don't have any bombs. Oh noes! For me, anyway. What's up? I guess I'm not terribly badly off if I have to, for some reason, backtrack and go get the blue armor. Boy. Look at all these keys and the key. Yeah, keys and keys. One of the, I guess, great or terrible things they did in later Zelda games is when they give you a boomerang. The boomerang goes, particularly the magic boomerang, goes through things. So it won't just hit the enemy and come back to you. It'll go through the enemy all the way to the other end of the screen. Then once it's made all the way through, it'll come all the way back. So. Zelda 1, what are you gonna do? Am I gonna complain about the first Zelda game? Yeah, of course I'm gonna complain about the first Zelda game. It's a little bit wonky. They definitely, if they ever remade this game, quote-unquote remade this game, like i.e. sort of gave it some quality of life features, it would just destroy the difficulty of this game. You know? They'd have to literally move shit around. Like, basically say, yeah, you know where the letter is to open up the potions stores. Yeah, you're not allowed to get that until you've already defeated 2 dungeons or something crazy like that. Basically make the, take the game and stretch out the time it takes you to do all the mundane tasks. Just to try to create some variation of an artificial difficulty. Because you've made certain quality of life features like the boomerang going through things, or giving you magic powder, or allowing your lantern to destroy these bubbles, or make your bow and arrow not tied to your rupee stack. Or worse yet, hell, go back to the original Zelda formula and basically make it so you can't carry over keys from dungeon to dungeon. So if you don't use all the dungeon keys, well, too fucking bad, they stay in your pocket in case you have to backtrack into an old dungeon. Ah, fuck me.